Welcome to the Block Hip Hop Show. I'm your boy Troy Everett.
And DJ Drumtastic. What's going on out there, y'all? It's the Block Hip Hop Show. And hey, let's fire it up. Troy, let them know what we're talking about today.
Well, today we're going to talk about DEE-1. For those who don't know who DEE-1 is an American rapper from New Orleans, Louisiana. He's also the first rapper in Louisiana history to be an appointee appointee of the governor. You heard? Is that what they say? No, they don't say you heard. What did they say? What do they say down there?
You know what I'm saying?
Wowdy?
You know what I'm saying?
Whatever they say down there, y'all down there in Louisiana. He began rapping while he was in college. He performed while attending LSU. After graduating from LSU in 2008, he started teaching middle school in Baton Rouge. By the end of 2008, he released 3 mixtapes. It's Only the Beginning, Still Rise, and I Am Who I Am. He's been featured on national outlets like CNN, Billboard, Washington Post. So he's been doing this for a minute, man. He's no little kid in the game. Pretty smart
all
kid.
Independent too?
Yeah, all independent. He is classified as a Christian rapper.
Okay.
So shall we play the video?
Yeah, let's play the video.
Sway, God got me on a hold, bro, like my
Let's
pad.
go.
Yo, with that being said, it's the OGs who I like to call DGs because they're disappointing grown-ups. That's what they are. It's the OGs in hip-hop. It's the ones that's 40-something years old. And, man, I hate when I see these gray-haired clout chasers who still talking about, and I send my young boys to come and wet your whole block up and da-da-da, and they still glorifying this. I look at with a Jim Jones, you could do better, brother. I love you too much. I love you too much to not be honest with you. Rick Ross, you could do better, brother. Meek Mill, you could do better, brother. I love you too much not to be honest with you. Are you the face of prison reform? Cause are you the face of prison reform? Or are you sitting here on your new song with Ross talking about getting somebody murked and shot at the red light? Which one is it, bro? Which one is it, bro? Because I did a shoe giveaway in my city and gave out 1,300 pairs of your shoes because they said reform underneath them. And I love that you partnered with a major shoe company and you out here pushing prison reform. But now I got to sit here like, man, this man glorifying getting people killed as of a week ago. Like, what?
He's spitting some knowledge there. Yeah, you know that some of the murder music that's going on now, man, it's got these kids out here acting crazy.
Yes, it does.
So,
and for our age bracket, we can say it started way back in the day, but a lot of it was we was telling the truth. I mean, the rappers, I'm 56, you 52, whatever. The rappers that we grew up with, if they said they were gang banging and selling drugs, that's what they were doing.
Right.
These rappers these days are not doing none of that. It just sounds good, and they know if the kids hear that and they think of that kind of environment that they come from, it hypes them up to go buy it. But he's right. It's time that we change it now. You can't be the face of prison reform and you're talking about killing some person all at the same time.
Yeah, he's got that down at the same time. But at the same time, it's two sides of the sword here because it is entertainment, right? Nobody's getting on Denzel Washington for cutting people's throats on the train.
Well, yeah.
Nobody's.
I can't agree with that.
Yeah, nobody's. Boycotting. What's Denzel's son's name? He's got a new movie out where he's shooting people. So
that's true.
It is entertainment. But I don't think the movies have the certain effect that hip hop music does because it's targeting a demographic, right? It's targeting a certain different, especially the murder music.
But look, the difference in the movies and the songs is the movies is he's playing a character.
Right.
The songs is that too, but the kids do believe that these rappers are actually doing it. We know they doing lean and pills for sure.
Well, yeah, some of these.
If they ain't doing no gangster shit, they doing lean and pills for sure.
Well, I think you're right because look, you got what's his name on trial down there where you're at in Atlanta, for his lyrics.
Yes.
Right. So they're telling what they're gonna. I'm not sure. I haven't been totally involved in that case. I haven't been interested in it.
Well, there's been stuff talking about killing people And I think, don't quote me, I think some of the stuff he's saying is kind of matching up with a certain person getting killed or where or when or something like that. Somehow it's matching up to where they're using the lyrics, because obviously if they're using the lyrics, that means it's connecting with the case.
Right.
And it's the RICO.
Yeah, he's got RICO on him. I don't think he's getting out. But the same thing happens in Chicago. Like, Chicago, you got people that are living in a certain area. You got one person that's really hot. You got to understand there's like, 20,000 people in a small condensed area.
Yep.
So you got 20,000 people and blocks away from each other. It's 40,000 people. And they're getting hot right off their block. And they're talking about wetting up somebody on the other block.
Yep.
And they're going out and doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So people are getting hurt.
It's influencing. It is influencing the kids.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't like guns and violence hasn't been in the streets since forever.
Right.
But I think it's a big, big deal now, because really with the society and the way you can make money in a lot of different ways, you really don't have to stand on the block and do that stuff no more.
No, you don't. And I think it's time for hip hop to grow up. Well, let me rephrase that, because when we were growing up, like you said, it was stories being told of what happened. I mean, Slick Rick, the bedtime story, they're just telling what happens in their neighborhoods.
Right.
Right. And what they're doing in their neighborhood, So it wasn't targeting a certain person to go ahead and murk them.
Right.
Where I think that's what's happening now. And so Jim Jones had a reply to this. Jim Jones had a reply. So let's go ahead and play Jim Jones's reply.
I really, 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 really do a lot for the people.
Mm-hmm. He talked about lyrics.
I don't care about none of that.
Okay.
In real life, I do a lot for the people. Miss me with the rhetoric about what I do in my music. I get money off my music. Don't tell me how to make my dollars. You gotta watch whose names you mentioning out here.
Mm-hmm.
You heard?
Yeah.
Because my little cousin might not like how you mention my name. You heard? And then he might want to slap a dread out your head just because he don't understand that you using my name for fame, and he don't understand that.
Yeah.
There's a certain way to go about certain things when you're using certain people's names. When you do certain things, it's a reaction for every action.
What's the best way?
It's out now. It ain't no best way to have a conversation. He got to see me when he see me now.
Okay.
You heard?
If he reached out,
he had the chance. He could have reached out. That avenue of talking to me is out.
That's out.
You heard? I had the same conversation with Farrakhan.
How did that go?
He summoned me for saying his name.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
If you know now what you're talking about, young man, let me school you to what you're doing. Well, yeah, it is music. So in a bit of music, you do get you get what you get, you heard? But we're still in the entertainment business. But miss me with the bullshit, you heard? When you see me, keep your hand down, you heard? Where you from, New Orleans? Don't play with me like that. People from New Orleans already called me, you heard? You preacher, get out of here.
You told too.
What was that, King?
You told?
Yeah, he told.
So we ain't gonna get into that.
I
I just
no.
want to heat him up. You snap on him?
Yeah, of course.
No.
That's the sign of a very insecure person.
Yeah, because he could have just.
I mean, again, he's older. He's supposed to be an OG, but he called him, what do you call him? A DG? A disappointing grown-up? I understand him snapping. He's trying to be funny. But as he's doing it, looks to his boy to his left, looks to his boy to the right.
Yeah.
Trying to get...
he needed them to pump him up,
right?
Because really it wasn't even that serious. It's his opinion about your music. Meek Mill didn't even get that defensive, and he's a lot younger. He said he just came into the game rapping like that.
Right.
That's how he rap. He's still down for prison reform, but Meek Mill said something that was very important. He lived that life and still does.
Yeah.
Except for the killings and stuff. So Jim Jones just got his feelings hurt.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Well, and
he said way more than that. He threatened him. He said a lot more than just that.
Yeah. Yeah, he said one of his little cousins might not like what he had said.
Said other stuff about, you got to watch what you say about. He said a lot more. I don't remember all of it, but he said a lot more stuff. And it was like, people been saying, hey, you don't think D1 got his boys, his goons too, just like you?
Right.
I mean, everybody can call up some people and say, hey, I got problems. Who can't?
Yeah, that's true. Not only that though, he's got excuse me. Not only that though, but he told him he loved him. You know what I'm saying? You can do better. That's all he did. I mean, it was a critique. And that's another thing about a lot of older black men. They can't take critique. They don't like critique. Nope. They don't like somebody to tell them what they're doing is wrong. That's one thing that's really bad in the hip hop community too, is you can't tell nobody nothing.
Nope.
Look, what do I always tell y'all? I said, don't tell me what's good. Tell me what's bad. That's the only way you can get better.
Yep. Tell me what's bad. Right. And you tell them something, or that's like people being on the internet and you saying this and that, and then somebody comes with their opinion and you just go off and get mad. Well, you put it out there like that, so people gonna critique your music. They gonna critique this. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
So you gotta accept it and know that everybody ain't gonna like what you do. I've never really liked Jim Jones. The only song that really got some attention is Ballin', and that to me was whack. The only part about the song that was good was Ballin'. That's it. His verses is whack. Yeah. He don't ride the beat. He rode the Cameron wave.
Yeah, he actually rode the what was her name? I was in Orlando, Florida, and it was him and Cameron. It was a female rapper, Charlie Baltimore. Baltimore.
And she was about that.
Yeah, so Charlie Baltimore is the one that brought them out. They were on stage. They were basically Flavor Flavs to Charlie Baltimore, but then they got on and they made their music.
Right.
And I just think that Santana's the one that made them hot. You know what I mean? Because
Cameron already had his flow, but for their group, yes, Santana blew it up with his flow. He was younger.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes. He made those songs that they made popping, like "Oh Boy." He was, So Cameron did his thing.
So Jim Jones also said he does a lot of stuff for the community, and
he does.
Yeah, and he does. But the ends out. What did he say? He said that's like a drug dealers. Bumpy Johnson used to hand out turkeys, right?
Yeah,
hand out turkeys, but at the same time selling crack, or not crack back then, it was heroin to the people. To the people of the community. So it's not really. Does it really help the people, or is this just a mask? For what you're doing. I don't know what Jim Jones does. I don't count Jim Jones's pockets. I care less.
Just as long as he don't rap, I'm good.
Yeah. Some people like him, some people don't. I think he sucks. I think his style sucks. I think he's always sucked. And Jada really exposed them anyways.
Smashed their whole crew. All by himself. He didn't even need Styles or Chic.
What are we doing? I'm outside.
They rapping over the verses and shit. Look at the dog like, let me get on. Yeah, so it was, like I said, Meek Mill had a grown-up response to the whole thing. I wish he would have had that, but Meek Mill did have a grown-up response to the whole thing. And Meek Mill did come in like that. Mm-hmm. He's still sticking to what he's true, but he do not just talk about all that in a song. He do flip a lot of his verses. He's metaphoring and stuff like that.
Yeah, and again, so
Jim Jones he don't rap like that. No, he's just rapping about street stuff.
Yeah, Jim Jones thinks he's a capo. He's from New York. He blew up. He thinks he's some kind of capo, and then to compare himself with the Honorable Minister Farrakhan is laughable. So you name drop Louis Farrakhan. I got called in for the same thing. I dropped Farrakhan's name and he summons me.
you're not Farrakhan.
You are not Farrakhan. You're not even close to a Farrakhan. So that example there is like, that just shows how egotistical this guy is.
Mm-hmm.
And
you notice that he don't kick it with none of the guys who he came in the game with, huh?
No.
Mace and Cameron have their own little podcast. It is what it is, doing great.
Right.
And Jimmy hasn't even been on it. He's nowhere around Cameron, so there's a reason for that.
Yeah, he's still, his name is brought up in different
bullshit
topics. Bullshit topics that could be illegal in nature. So I think
they're not grown up shit,
right? And I think that's why you see Mace and Cameron doing the grown man thing, because he's still, again, thinking he's a capo.
Yep.
So like I said, some of these guys that are 40 years old, hey, once I did, the scripture says, and I'm just going to go ahead and quote the scriptures, because D1, like he said, he's a preacher, you preacher. As a child, I did childish things. When I became a man, I put away childish things. And a lot of our men are, especially in hip hop. Look what Jay-Z's doing and Nas is doing. They're moving differently than they did when they were, in their 20s and their 30s. They're moving grown-up style.
We still got grown men our age hanging out at the bar with the young kids, trying to get a young woman, trying to be young.
Yeah.
Instead of like kind of teaching the young men. Think about it. When we was growing up, we learned how to court and treat women by the men that were older than us, whether it was right or wrong.
Yep.
Some men say, yeah, get a bunch of women. There's a bunch of women. Some say, fine, you a good woman, and blah, blah, blah. So we do have to be better examples for the younger men. And by Jim Jones attacking the guy, that didn't look good. Look, wait, how we going to call it? I don't know about the Gen X and Gen Zs, but we're going to say grown-up men 0, young men 1, because D1 came in and took a victory away from us 50 and over because Jim Jones just acted like a little wuss.
Yeah, looked like he was butthurt over the guy saying, brother, you could do better. Come on, man.
I love you, but you could do better. And he's telling the truth, because if you listen to the new album of Rick Ross and Meek Mill, I like a few of the songs. Rick Ross still has the same flow. He's still talking about the same stuff. Rappers, this is just my opinion. Why keep rapping about your expensive jewelry, your expensive cars and everything? Most of the people who is buying your music and listening to it can't even afford dinner barely for that day.
Yeah.
Why are you still talking about that stuff? I know you got it and that's great and we all know. But why you can't rap about trying to uplift the people or something that, relationships, like you said, stories and stuff like that. But all this, my Cartier watch, and I just got my own jet, and we can't really relate to that really, because we don't have that and we don't have the money to buy it.
Right. You're selling pipe dreams. You're selling pipe dreams. That's what you're doing. You know different from preachers, actually. You know different from preachers. You're selling hope. You're selling hope. Hey, if you got a good rhyme scheme, you can do this and make this. Yeah, quit selling hope. And that's why I have so much respect for Nas. That's why I have so much respect for Jay-Z, as you've seen their career grow and as they've grown being fathers, husbands. I mean, 444, that album, man, was so grown up. I'm so grown. It's still one of my favorite albums of all time.
It's grown up, and it's what he was talking about. Mm-hmm. How he was talking about the different things in life that is happening. He wasn't even talking about his old life. Maybe 1 or 2 songs he talked about it, but he always talked about where he was and where he is now. Yeah. And Nas does the same thing in these last 6 albums. If you ain't coming out as a 50-year-old and older and you don't have nothing positive to rap about, you might as well stay where you at. Like Busta, his new album's about to come out. Busta's always been... One thing about Busta is he's electrical. So it don't even really matter what he's saying. You just like hype because he getting down. But he do mix it up with what he talking about. He don't even really talking about guns and all that stuff.
Yeah, come on.
He's having fun.
Yeah.
He's having fun.
And that's all he wants you to do is have fun. And one of the most positive guys is Busta Rhymes, man. He comes in, calls everybody kings, embraces everybody that's in the game.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? He pays homage. I absolutely love Busta Rhymes, love his music, love his career. You know, and he's also giving the game to the young people too. You know what I mean? So, Jim Jones, fuck you.
You never was a good rapper anyway.
Yeah,
never.
Tell some of your young cousins that. Tell them, I ain't nobody. I ain't trying to get no clout off your name or nothing like that. Fuck you. Fuck your cousins.
No, it's not all about that. It's like, man, the young man spoke his mind. Think about, he's probably one of the only ones that got up enough nerve to do it because he knew he was going to get attacked.
Yeah.
Rick Ross even has some stuff to say too about what he do and what he do. It wasn't about what you do. It was about your lyrics.
Yeah, it works it out.
That's what it was, just about the lyrics.
Right.
You could adjust a few words. Like you said, you could have thought and said, man, that's your opinion. That's one thing I've learned as I've gotten older. When I talk to people now, I say, this is my opinion. So from the beginning, don't get mad because this is what I feel, how I think. Because people don't like other people's opinions, and that's sad.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all subjective, is what we say, subjective. But he gives a point. If there's people dying from the music, imitating the music, we got a problem.
Yeah.
We got a drug epidemic in the hip hop culture now because of, I'm going to say it, Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne created a drug epidemic. It was cool to
syrup.
Yeah, it was cool to sip lean, and now you got a bunch of drug addicts making all this money, dying off, popping pills, dying off, and the generation afterwards is following in their footsteps. So you got to be careful what you say. The power of the tongue is the most powerful thing. Words are powerful.
And a lot of them are dying from heart attacks and strokes because of the lean and the pills, because they just blow their heart up because the heart can't take it.
Yeah. Well, as usual, we're not going to keep it long.
Nope.
That was just our take on the D1 situation. Make sure you guys...
It's just our opinion, y'all. Don't get attitude.
Yeah.
If he said fuck Jim Jones, then fuck Jim Jones. And Jim, like old boy D1 said, we love you.
Yeah.
We just thought you acted like a little childish little 17-year-old because you didn't like that he critiqued your whack-ass rap music.
Yeah. It's not like you going platinum nowhere, motherfucker. Shut the fuck up. Anyways, I don't want no smoke.
Give away some turkeys. It's Christmas time. It's Thanksgiving. Give away some turkeys, Jim.
Yeah. Do something positive.
All right, y'all. Till next time. This is the Block Hip Hop Show. Peace.
Peace.